Hey everyone, welcome to another CH Wraps video where today we are going to be working on these calipers. So normally I would be wrapping things, but today we're actually going to be painting. So I have a specific paint that I use. It's a ceramic based paint for calipers, and I'm going to be using that today. So I'm going to be lifting this car off the ground, putting it on some jack stands, taking all the wheels off, and painting these calipers. I also have a Tesla decal, which is going to be applied to the front as soon as these are dry, and then they'll be finished. But this is actually a car that I did before I started making videos. This was done about 2 months ago, and as we can see here, all of the satin chrome delete wrap is still looking really good. Not much on the back of these, but I did do that emblem and the dual motor logos there. We just tinted those. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and get started on that. All right, all the wheels are off and this thing is up in the air. And now what I'm going to do is, these are actually pretty clean. This car is basically brand new, but I am going to use the supplied brake cleaner to go ahead and clean this off really good. And then I'm going to mask off a few places, and then we are going to go ahead and get started. Now, I've done this a few times before. Basically how it works is I got all 4 wheels and tires off, as you can see, and you start with one coat on one, then move to the next, move to the next, move to the next, and by the time you're back at the first one, it's ready for its second coat. So that's the plan. So I'm just going to keep going around the car a couple of times, and then once it's done, we're going to let it dry for a bit. I'm going to apply that Tesla logo, let it dry for a while, and then we'll put the wheels back on and we're going to be done. So hang tight, let's get to it. Alright, so all of the calipers are cleaned and masked off. I'm not going to go around the whole car and show all of them, but you kind of get the idea. Now I'm going to mix the paint, and we are going to go ahead and get started with that. Let's go ahead and do that now. Okay, so here is what's in the kit. We've got the actual paint, and then we have a chemical reactor here. So all of this goes in this can here, and then we've got a stir stick and a brush. So believe it or not, this actually gets brushed on. So we're going to go ahead and use that. I've already done this before, so don't need those. And our stir stick, which I'm also going to use to go ahead and open this. All right, now this should be a very close red to the factory Tesla color, so if it's a little off, it's not going to be the end of the world. So we'll go ahead and put all of that in here. Now they say not to shake it because you don't want to get bubbles in it, so we're going to go ahead and not shake it. We're just going to stir it. And I think we'll call that good. Okay, let's head over to the car and let's start painting. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I want to keep the coats pretty light, otherwise this will it'll get pretty gummy if you do too many layers too thick. So you just want to do a nice light coat. Just like so. Nothing too complicated, but you do want to make sure you're going. I always try to make sure the streaks or the brush strokes, I should say, are going the same direction. I don't know, it just makes me feel good about the painting project if they're all going the same way. May not have any bearing at all, I don't know. But I do know this stuff actually cures pretty fast, so you want to make sure you do your first layer and then try not to go over it too many times, because it's hard to describe, but it'll dry underneath and then it'll start kind of gumming up a little bit and it won't look smooth. So that's what we're going for, is for smooth. So that's going to do it for the first coat. I'm going to move around to the other calipers and we'll just do the hyperlapse on those and we'll just kind of go from there. With how these have turned out. They still have to dry and I still have to put the decals on them, but they really did turn out nice. And I ended up leaving the actual brake pad. Looks like I have to clean up that little area right there, but I ended up leaving the brake pad black. I just think it looks kind of cheesy if everything's all kind of globbed red. So for these rear single pot calipers, the paint job I did on those I think looks better. So I'm gonna go ahead and get to bed, and once I'm up in the morning I'm gonna go ahead and put the decals back on